Well, welcome back to East End Park, Cammy.
Thank you.
It's nice to see you again.
Yes.
You were signed in 1959 by Andy Dixon.
By Andy Dixon, certainly, but
Yeah.
59 sounds about right.
Yeah. Did you play much under Andy Dixon when you first came in?
Not many games, because I was found out. The one thing that my father had said was that when you sign for the firm, make sure you've signed for a junior club, so that if it doesn't work out, you can fall back into that regime. And I signed for Steel End Victoria, but only played 4 games, and then was brought in to play. And I think I played a couple of reserve games, and then was straight into the first team from there on in. So it was only that season, I think, and then Jock Stein came in to save us.
Yeah. What difference did Jock Stein make to the club when he came in?
I think what it did do, he made us professionals. He also treated us as professionals. And he changed the ethos of the club by presenting us as good as the teams you're going to play. Previously, when you were going to play a Glasgow team or an Edinburgh team, you always felt that Dunfermline was going to sneak into the game and leave the game. He got us travelling first class, went to hotels before the game, got a new coach, to take us to the games. So there was a presentation of this club is serious, and so it stopped us being intimidated by the Aberdeens, the Hibs, the Hearts, the Rangers, the Celtics, that type of thing. So that changed your whole attitude that you are good, It's just the confidence. And obviously the structure of how he started to build teams made it that more important as well. So that's how I think he developed every player he had into believing themselves and making them better. Yeah.
You say earlier that he saved your season, that one that you came in, and then you obviously went on to play in the cup final.
Yeah.
Which you were the youngest player to play in. What was the run up to that cup final like, the games that you played in? Can you remember any?
I think they were always underplayed by him. They were just another game. I think that made us as a team who had never experienced that before, it wasn't something too special, you just treat it as like a league game, and you don't make this, it's a Scottish Cup, nervous. You're just going to another game, and you played as it was another game, without having this bubble above your head saying, oh, it's a Scottish Cup, something special. Only when you got to obviously the semi-finals and the finals that you started to realise and appreciate. But again, he tried to play it down, it's like, I remember, I think it was the first final, I was standing at Larbert Cross getting the bus to pick me up at like 10 o'clock in the morning to get through to, I think it was Hamilton, we stopped at to have lunch, so it was just as if we were going through to Thurlanner to play a league game. It wasn't made that special difference. The only difference was that you went away and trained at Seamill Hydro, but I think that was just for the final, and then we moved up and played the final from there. But it was trying to keep it as a normal game, so therefore you just treat it like that. Obviously after the event it's not a normal game.
What was the game like to play in then, because there was a massive crowd?
Yeah, I think the advantage for being Dunfermline was that because it was, the final was such a massive crowd, even the semi-final at Tynecastle, that even though a few supporters were not the dominant support, the noise, you wouldn't know whether it was they were cheering for you or cheering for the opposition. So in that context, you never felt as if you are the underdogs. There was just this noise around you, and obviously, however the manager has made the team play, you played to that. You know, you didn't make out as if it was anything different. But obviously the crowd didn't influence you in the context of negative, because of just this volume of noise, you know. So we were happy like that, you know, very happy.
Did he prepare you in such a way that you felt that you had a chance of winning against Celtic?
Oh, I think that's the thing. He didn't make out that the team you were going to play was a superior team. He allowed the team to work to our strengths, not to be negative. That what are their strengths? You know, play our strengths. Obviously, you have to understand, yes, what the opposition is going to come at you. But he always said, if you're attacking them, that's your best form of defence. You never fall back. You go for them, make them think, what's this all about? Because I'm sure the Rangers and the Celtics and that didn't appreciate what this team was coming at them. Because to me, Rangers and Celtics always thought of Dunfermline as a second division club that had just come up. The Jockstein never thought like that. You know. So if we can attack them, it'll make them worried.
Who were you up against?
Very difficult to remember again. I remember the big fella, John Hughes. I think he was the winger, and to me he was like colossal. You know, I thought, blimey, I've got to try and stop this bloke. You know, and he was a big boy. You know.
Yeah.
But that was it. But again, that was the thing. Hughes had to worry about me more than I had to worry about him, because I was getting pushed forward and going and supporting wee Tommy and things like that in the first game. So, you know, they had to worry about us because we were attacking them, you know. Yeah, we were showing that we weren't going to be scared of them, you know. Albeit obviously they had pressure on us, but we never thought that they were always coming at us. We knew we were giving them a good run for it.
How did you feel then when the game ended up a draw and you went to a replay then?
I can't think it would have been any different. Again, it was just another game. It wasn't as if you've lost it or won it or it was a draw. It's another game. You forgot about what happened back there. Obviously, I can't remember, but I'm sure that Mr. Steen had seen things in the first game, and when we were training prior to the second game, he dropped these little things into us. I can't remember, but from my experience of him through the time we had him, he was like that. You know, he pinpointed things and he just changed your little ways of doing things, and therefore it was always this positive. It was never a negative. It was always we're as good as them. We can beat them. And that's how it was.
Yeah, and obviously you won the cup, so what was the reaction like then coming back to the town?
Well, the thing I remember was when we left Hampden and coming back through Glasgow, it was all the Rangers supporters were out. They were lined, you know. I can always remember all these red, white and blue scarves. They loved it. Because I was a Larbert boy, the bus went through Larbert and there was a few people at the crossing. But the one thing I always remember, or I don't remember it, but I've seen it on the film, is me embarrassing myself in the town hall with my very Scots accent saying, "Greatest day of my life." My wife always laughs at that.
That's what I was going to ask you. Your medal, you've still got it, but it's...
I still have it, and Moya, my wife, she wears it. And I'll give you a little story, is that at this point in time, or this morning, I was speaking to my granddaughter, and she's doing a project on family history, and we've been sending down the line, you know, photograph of the medal and my Scottish jersey and my Dunfermline jersey and all that. So this is not my first interview. I've had my interview with my my granddaughter this morning from Australia.
So that was just to warm you up.
That's just to warm you. She must have known that I was going to get this. Yeah, that's right.
Dear.
Yeah. So that's it. Oh yes, it is something that obviously is special.
Mm.
Although the one thing that she asked me, she says, "What do you think is the most memorable thing that happened in your life, football life?" And I have to say, is actually playing for your country. You know, that's special. Obviously, winning the cup is special, but playing for your country, you know, and being recognised, that is it. So that was my answer to her question on that one.
So where did you play, and who was it against when you played for Scotland?
Played twice against Wales. One in Aberdeen. It was under 23s. One in Aberdeen and one down in Wrexham. Yeah, so that was the two. And then, you know, that's it. I don't know what happened. Obviously, I hadn't done very well. You know, I thought I'd done well, but that was it. Yeah.
Obviously, after you the cup was won, you were then in Europe.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was one where, you know, you started to open your eyes into, you're not from Scotland, you know, you're part of a bigger area of the world. And again, it just showed what Mr. Steen did was we travelled privately. We didn't get commercial flights and things like that, you know. You're going to Hungary, you know, you got a plane and you took you across there. You know, obviously there were fans who travelled with you, but they made it very special. And then also doing summer tours, you know, you go to Norway, you know, it's like, I mean, a little boy from, I mean, the funny thing is, a little boy from Stenhousemuir going to these countries and travelling, in our eyes, obviously, first class, you know, and seeing things, you know, nothing that you'd ever imagined you could ever do in your normal life, which really opened a new world to you, you know, and hopefully I grabbed it, you know, took advantage of it.
Because you played against St Pat's, Ushbestoza.
It was Barda Skopje was before that, and then Ushbestoza, and then. And I still said we should have won against the Hungarians, but that's history now. Yeah, that's history.
What was the experience like then in those countries? What were
They were tough. You were watched all the time. You had no, you know, you were in the communist country at that time, and you had no freedom. I say the story on being not protected. I think that's a hard word, but being isolated on the middle of an island in the Danube in Budapest before the game, and getting the feeling of intimidation with soldiers with guns patrolling round your gardens, and you've seen them from there, and you've never seen local population. All you saw was this, and getting intimidated. It was a bit intimidating. Yeah. And I think I remember going to one little tour that took us and went up to this height above the Danube, and it was obviously a memorial of something, but there was bullet holes still in the memorial, so they hadn't been rubbed over since the uprising. So it was, once you knew a little bit about the uprising, you thought, oh, it really did happen. Yeah, that's why we had these, you know, refugees from Hungary at that time. Because I remember when I lived in Stenhousemuir, there was a camp in Poland of the Hungarians, you know, because of that, you know. So it was, it seems to be happening up to this very day, isn't it? You know, that's a shame.
You obviously played well for Dunfermline because it earned you a move to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
And I believe Mr. Steen says that your transfer fee paid for this stand.
Yes, apparently that's the story, you know. It shows you what you can get for your money in these days. Yeah? Yes, but that is, I think that generated, I think, impetus for the club to say, wait a minute, we're big, we've got money, we want to be as, you know. And I think it was the start of Dunfermline's era of moving up the ladder until they became a recognised power in Scottish football, you know. was seen by the success they had, you know, going further in Europe, you know, winning the cup, you know, always been up near the top of the league, you know, all these things. Again, it shows you, it made Dunfermline feel they are as good as any other club in the country. You know, might not have the population, but they're as good as. That's what it did to, I think, Dunfermline. Yeah, that was it.
You ended up in another cup final, the League Cup final with Aston Villa.
Yeah.
But this time you were
Yes.
on the losing side.
Yes. Yeah. That's unfortunate. And at that time it was a two-legged final, and it wasn't at Wembley. It was prior to Wembley. So you haven't had the accolade of saying you've played at Wembley. You know, played at Hampden, but not Wembley. Yeah. But yes, there was a little bit of success there as well. You know, it wasn't the happiest of times that I had at the Villa, but that's what life's all about. It takes you.
Yeah, and then you went to Birmingham.
Correct.
And then ended up with Falkirk.
Yes, it seemed very strange. But Falkirk, I never really recognised myself ever being a Falkirk player, because I was basically couldn't play football when I was finishing from Birmingham City through to injury, and they were taking a gamble. It never came off. I never played for Falkirk. I signed for them a season, never played for them, just tried to get fit. It never happened. You know? So I never recognised Falkirk as a team I quote played for, because I hadn't played for them. You know? Yeah. So that was it. My end of my career was with Birmingham City, unfortunately. Yeah. But that's what happens to footballers. You've got to be prepared and get ready for your next phase of your life. Yeah. That's it.
How do you look back on your time with Dunfermline then? With affection or?
It's always with affection. Always with a gratitude that I started to see things in a different light. I wasn't a local boy that hadn't done anything. I was a local boy, if I'm calling Stirlingshire local, that they gave me the opportunity to see another life. And do you have the opportunity like that when you've come from a little town? I think that was the opportunity. I grabbed at it and benefited from it, you know. And again, I hope Dunfermline benefited as well from it. You know. Still get invited here, so maybe it's still okay.
That was what I was going to say, because you're a member of the Former Players Association and they meet periodically, so you see a lot of the guys that you used to play with. So I take it that's a good.
That's a nice thing. Unfortunately, our generation, there's very few of us left, but yeah, that's a nice thing. And obviously, and listening to the younger ones, I'll say that in italics, younger ones, because I left the club, I didn't have the long period of, say, 6 to 10 years of that with the club. But it's nice to come back and still see the players who moved on to the next generation. You know, like still the players. Like Willie Callaghan, you know, that he was the wee junior, you know, and I used to kick him around the training ground, you know, that type of thing, and he moved on to good things and all that. So it's nice to see the ones that came afterwards, and obviously maybe they had the opportunities that I didn't have at the very beginning when the club was, you know, when you had a wooden stand and, you know, ash, walking along ash and things like that. But it's nice just to come back and feel you're still part of the club. Yeah. And I am, because I'm very welcome every time I come here. And that's a nice thing about it. As I say, we're clocking on. There's very few of us left of the originals. You know? Yeah. You know, as I say, my two influences for him really started when Jock Stein really got hold of us. Was when he brought in Willie Cunningham and Tommy MacDonald. He brought in people who had success professionally, and that brought you to understand the need to be a professional. If you want to be a professional to last this long, you've got to work hard at it. And bringing these players in again brought the club up another level. Yeah. So, as I say, Jock Stein, Mr. Stein, really transformed this club.